This was a
Interesting.
good image. I mean,
Okay.
I think we got to work with it a little bit.
Yeah.
But
There's no more room at the top there?
there's no more room at the top. Let's say there's no room at the top, and we want to make room.
Want room at the top?
Let's do something. Let's go over to Photoshop. We went over to Photoshop. I'm going to use that generative expand.
Yes, you are.
Right? And then what we're going to do is we're just going to grab this top. We're going to move it up and say, I think there was too much down here anyways.
Sure.
So we could have come up to there.
Just slide
so
it,
all
right?
we're going to do is we're going to expand it just that much. So we're just adding that little bit of headroom, and we're going to hit that generate tool.
And hopefully we don't get another elephant in there.
Yes, hopefully we don't. Hopefully get a background, and hopefully it looks the same. Now, when we go back over to Lightroom, we're going to do something that it really won't matter if it's not perfect, which that is close enough to where it's
Close enough to what we need.
perfect. If we go over here, there's that option. I probably would prefer that one just because of what I'm going to do with it.
I like the shape of the ear in that one too. Yeah.
So we're going to go here. And then all we're going to do is we'll just go over, we'll hit save. And then when we hit save, it's coming back over here to Lightroom. So you can see we've got the version with, that's where we had not enough headroom.
Right.
And then we just added that little bit of headroom.
It already feels like there's more breathing room.
Yeah,
it's not as cramped.
It feels not as cramped. But I really want to take this, I think, a little bit more contrasty, dramatic. I want to accentuate the lighting that's there. I think there is some good, like,
there's that backlight from the sun, so you're getting that rim around the elephants. I would love to see that accentuated.
Yeah, so let's do it. So first, on the crop, do we want to come up even more? A little bit, maybe come in, kind of put it more in there. So just kind of focusing again in on that front elephant, but we still got the elephant behind, and now we really want to add some dramatics. Let's go ahead and just do some adjustments. So I'm going to warm it up. I'm going to go intentionally warmer on this one.
Okay.
I just feel like at the end, we're going to want that once I start punching it up.
Right.
And I really want to accentuate that. Right. I could hit auto. I actually think it's going too far.
Yeah.
I don't like where it's
I like
going
what you were doing before.
with auto.
Yeah.
I want to take actually away. And I want to darken this up. Like, I'm going to bring it more. So again, we're kind of like warming it up.
Yep.
Adding that tone.
More color. It was a little like drab and muddy before, and this just adds a lot more color to it.
And the one thing I'm going to do here that's going to suck me in, I think, is I'm going to go stronger with the vignette than I normally would.
Ooh, he's getting crazy.
Yeah, like I'm going to come in there where, you see how I'm really bringing you in that center. Next, I think this one is going to call for a huge lens upgrade.
Okay.
So let's go and apply a lens blur. Right? And you can already tell where it's got the lens upgrade, but you can see where it didn't get as well here on the edges.
Yeah.
And maybe even in here. So if we turn on this visualize depth is going to actually show me the depth, and it's going to show me the depth through color. So I can actually grab this area and go, now the elephant, you see how the elephant's becoming less in focus when it's turning that yellow. That's if you wanted some depth of field in the front. I don't really want that. I want the elephant to be all sharp. And then if I bring it in from the back,
there we go.
You can see how the other elephant's kind of turning into. But let's say it's grabbing too much over here. Well, I can actually go down to the brush down here.
Yep.
I want the blur.
Right.
So I want to visualize depth. I want the blur brush.
Right.
And I want to blur this. I want to just make sure this area right here is all blurred out.
So just the thought that you are painting in unfocus is really kind of revolutionary. It's not just blur. It's literally like lens unfocused.
Right.
And
it's
really
even
good
there,
stuff.
I'm grabbing that one. It didn't hit these two areas. So I'm just brushing that back in. So I went to the focus and brushed that focus back in. Now, if I turn off visualize depth, you can see how kind of the edges are all blurred. Like that's a really good lens upgrade. We went from F9 to like again about an F4.
3 or 4.
We could probably go up. Let's go to the blur amount. Push it up.
Look at that.
We could even go to the boost and push that up.
Wow.
Now look at That might have been too far, but we went
Probably.
to like an f2.8.
But still, the fact that you can do that, and it has this quality of like a lens blurring. This isn't just like your Gaussian blur from Photoshop. This looks really good.
That is night and day there.
It is.
I mean, you can see how now the elephants stand out. They jump out from the background. We have that gradual depth behind them, right? So now it's just a matter of, you see how when I warmed it up, it didn't look as good, but when you add the lens blur, it starts looking good. It's like you get that warmth color all the way through it. But now we can go even crazier with it. You know, like what do we want to do? Like what happens if I hit select subject, right?
Right.
We can go to the subject. We might just
like accentuate some of the texture and stuff on their skin so they look rougher and they're not smooth.
Remember what we did to the Jets?
Yep.
Did they do the same thing here?
Same thing.
I'm going to just add some warmth. We take out some of that green. Come in here, maybe boost up some of that texture to bring out the skin.
Yep.
Maybe even clarity.
Yes.
Right?
Ooh, look at that.
You can see how we're bringing that depth out. And then what are we going to do that we did to the Jet? We're going to deaccentuate the background.
Right.
So, background. Boom.
And it still selects it perfectly, even with that non-focus blurring on there.
And see, if you go too much, you're going to tell. Right there, I can definitely tell you did it.
Sure.
But again, if we go to that like quarter stop, you can hardly tell. That's almost a half a stop right there.
Yeah.
And then, but then we can even change, like we want to cool down the background, warm up the background some more, pull out some colors.
There it is. Yeah.
And you can see how we took a very flat.
It looked really dusty there.
Dusty.
Yeah.
And we're just warming it up. I mean, now I might even be able to go back to the original and even boost it up some more.
Yeah. Yep, because you're starting to see that rim light accentuating along the ear there.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Look at that.